Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm using the Alleyway Stamps. It's Fall About You stamp set, and I created two masks with the leaf image, and I'm just going to stamp this along the right hand side of my cardstock with some Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And I'll stamp my first one, and then I'm going to stamp another one just because those two aren't going to overlap. And then I'm going to start building my image and overlapping them. So I'm going to take one of my masks and just cover this on the leaf. And the masks, I used the full sticky back post-it notes, and they're pretty reasonable. You can get them on Amazon, so those will be in the links below if you're interested. And I find that they work really well. They stick well, and it's just an affordable option for masking off your stamped images. So you can see once I go ahead and mask that off, I can stamp right over it, and then it will look like they are overlapping each other. The only thing you want to kind of keep in mind is that when you're stamping over them and when you place that mask down on wet ink, it will kind of pick it up. So if you pick up these masks and then put them down again, that some of the ink may transfer. So you just want to be aware of that when you are masking off your images with this post-it note paper. Alright, so I'm just going to mask off one more leaf at the top. And then once I get that one stamped, I went ahead and dried all of these with my heat tool just to make sure that the ink was completely dried, because I am going to color these in with my Copic markers. So I'm starting with the Y15. And I'm just kind of coloring these in really basic. I'm going to do a little bit of shading with some darker colors. And I am going to use like oranges, yellows, reds, browns for fall, because I want this to look like a fall color. So I am adding a little bit of shading with the Y17, which is golden yellow. And then I'm just going back in and blending that with the Y15. Alright, so the next color I am using is the green, which is YG63. And I'm also going to repeat these, so I'm going to use the same color twice, except one of them I'm just coloring that one once. And then the darker color that I'm using for shading is the YG67. And then I'll go ahead with my YG63 once again and blend both of those colors together. So you could add even more shading by adding in some darker colors, or even kind of blending them to make it look like a true fall leaf that has multiple colors on it. But I've done a few videos recently doing some fall cards using distress inks and making the colors look like different, or the leaves look like different colors. So the one brown one that I'm doing is the E37. And then I'll add in the little bit of shadow with the E39. And then once again, I'm blending those back together with the E37. Alright, and then for the red, I'm using the R29. This one is the one that I kind of consider a true red. It's really bright. And I don't know about you guys with your Copic markers, but the R29 and the R's, they seem to bleed a lot more than the other colors, for me at least. And then I'm adding a little bit of R39. And then I'm going back in with the R29 once again. So I went ahead and skipped over the ones that I colored twice, so I just went ahead and colored those. And then I also fussy cut along that entire edge. So I just cut out right to the line all of the leaves. You can see that on the right hand side. Now I'm going in on the other side of those leaves, the left hand side, with my B00, which is a really light blue color. And I'm just kind of coloring, scribbling this alongside that edge. It's going to create like a little shadow behind all of the leaves, and then it'll make the card look so that it's not just leaves on that side. I kind of wanted a background. And then I'm going in with the 0, which is the colorless blender, and I'm going all over that blue that I colored, and that's just going to blend it out a little bit and make the edge not so noticeable, and it's also going to lighten up the color quite a bit. I like to use this colorless blender with my Copic markers to blend out the edges if I do kind of like a scribbly edge. It makes it look more feathered and like shadowy. So I went ahead and trimmed off 1 inch on my card base just so that those leaves would be, you would see the pattern of those leaves on the edge instead of the white card base. So I'm just adhering that down, and then you can see that the edge has the leaf shape. So I'm going to stamp the sentiment from the same stamp set. It says "Thankful for You," and I'm stamping this with the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And one thing, I did stamp this over where I did the colorless blender. You just want to make sure that that's completely dried before you stamp this, because otherwise it will make that sentiment bleed out a little bit. Mine lightened up quite a bit that I noticed because the colorless blender wasn't completely dried. So I'm going to add a few of these glitter enamel dots, or glitter gold enamel dots from Studio Calico, and I just think the gold looks really nice with the fall card in those fall colors that I colored the leaves in. So I'm just randomly scattering these above and below my sentiment. And then the final step, I'm taking some gold stickles and just putting little squirts of this onto each of those leaves, and that just adds a little bit more to the edges. And who doesn't like a sparkly leaf? I just really, for some reason, I'm loving gold lately. Usually I try to stay away from gold, but the past couple years it's just, I don't know what it is, but I'm loving the gold. So I hope it doesn't go out of style anytime soon, because then I'm going to have a lot of stuff with gold on it. Alright, and then that is my finished card for today. So hopefully you enjoyed this fall card and coloring in with the Copic markers and masking off your stamped images. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you're not already, so that you can catch all of my latest videos and you don't miss one. And I will see you back here next time. Bye!